Welcome to my inquiry and examination of 2 of my students. Let's dive right in, shall we? In this observation assignment, I wanted to look at students who are very different from how I was as a student. I went in thinking I understood that my students are learners who process and synthesize information in a variety of ways and at different rates. As you will see, I learned my lesson very quickly. Having grown up in a small town of predominantly, quote, white, unquote, people and students, I had to remember that my students are from different backgrounds, cultures, and countries. I had the added lesson of learning that some of my students were English language learners, or ELL. As someone who was raised speaking English and whose French and Spanish skills are less than admirable, I still have trouble understanding that not everyone speaks English. This assignment has definitely helped. English language learners are students and adults who are learning English as a second, third, or fourth or more language. These people come from very different cultural and societal backgrounds. In high school, these students are international exchange students or immigrants. One thing to remember is that these students are diverse and very intelligent people. The student who inspired my curiosity about English language learners is Kevin. Kevin is from Korea, and I met Kevin in the ESL support room. The students in Kevin's class were given a quiz, followed by homework time and silent reading. As I observed the class, I saw that Kevin was very frustrated. His engagement with the quiz was minimal, and he later became frustrated by the silent reading assignment. During class, Kevin sat very close to the door. He eventually distracted his classmates to the point that the teacher moved him to another table to work alone. During silent reading, the teacher recognized that he was struggling and sent him to the library to get a book at a more appropriate reading level. The new book was called Black Cat. I haven't seen Kevin since that day in ESL support, but the encounter inspired me to learn about students like Kevin who are very frustrated by the English language. After some reading, I discovered that having English language learners read aloud is vastly beneficial to their learning. I was also reminded that English language learners know more than their English language proficiency allows them to express. I think this reminder applies to all students. Communicating ideas can be very difficult, and communicating them in a foreign language can be even more difficult. Another reading reminded me not to focus on mistakes with English language learners. Instead, focus on improving 1 or 2 things at a time. The most important thing is to get students speaking, reading, and writing in the English language as much as possible. Repetition and practice are key. The sticky note method is an especially effective tool that I will elaborate more on during discussion in class. Remember to help your English language learner students become active participants in their learning. Create a formative assessment assignment around their culture, family, or community. Also, be prepared to do a lot of one-on-one work with these students. Their English competencies will be different, so you may want to create individual lesson plans to help them learn particular skills at the optimal rate. Another important thing to remember is that the parents of your students may not be actively involved in their children's learning because of cultural and societal norms. This was something I hadn't even considered. As well as conversations and observations, I also consulted a few articles to better understand English language learners. Both articles are from the journal Voices from the Middle and the National Council of Teachers of English. They helped me understand English language learners a bit better and offered some excellent tips for the classroom. I hope this presentation has given you a better understanding of English language learners like Kevin. I look forward to elaborating on this discussion in class. See you later.